The pregnancy test mocks me from the bathroom counter. 2 pink lines clear as the Florida sunshine streaming through the window of my empty house in Lake Worth. Positive. 8 weeks after sleeping with my husband's best friend. 6 weeks after Keith walked out. 4 weeks after the divorce papers arrived. And now this. I've called Keith 47 times today. Left 19 voicemails. Sent texts that go from desperate to angry to pathetic and back again. He hasn't responded to a single one. His friend Brett, though, the one whose baby might be growing inside me, he responded immediately when I told him, by blocking me on everything. 3 months ago, I had a husband who adored me, a beautiful house near the beach, and a life that my friends envied. Now I have a positive pregnancy test, an empty house I can't afford, and the kind of reputation that makes people whisper when I walk into Publix. The story everyone knows is that I cheated. The story they don't know is how spectacularly I destroyed everything, how many chances Keith gave me to stop, how I looked him in the eye and lied until the truth was literally dripping down my thigh. Keith and I met 7 years ago at a beach bar in downtown Lake Worth. I was 24, working as a real estate agent, still high on my first big commission. He was 27, a contractor who'd just started his own business. When he offered to buy me a drink, I actually laughed. I just made $30,000 on one sale, I told him. I'll buy my own drinks. 30,000? He whistled. Then you can buy mine too. That confidence, that easy humor, it hooked me immediately. We talked until the bar closed, then walked along the beach until sunrise. He told me about his plans to build custom homes, revolutionize the construction industry in South Florida. I told him about my ambition to be the top agent in Palm Beach County by 30. Power couple in the making, he said as the sun came up. Is that what we are? A couple? I'd like to be. If you'll have a lowly contractor who drives a 10-year-old truck. I drive a 5-year-old Honda, I admitted. The Mercedes at the bar? That's my boss's. I borrowed it to celebrate. So we're both faking it till we make it? Something like that. We were inseparable after that. Keith supported my career like no man I'd ever dated. He'd drive me to showings when my car broke down, help me stage houses on weekends, listen to me vent about difficult clients without ever making it about him. When I made my first $100,000 commission, he threw me a surprise party. When his business landed its first major contract, I had champagne waiting. We married 3 years later on the beach where we'd watched that first sunrise. Small wedding, just family and close friends. His best man was Brett, his friend since middle school. Brett, who made a toast about how Keith had finally found someone who matched his ambition. Brett, who would later match more than just our ambition. The first 4 years of marriage were everything I'd dreamed. We bought a house in Lake Worth, a fixer-upper that Keith renovated room by room. I built my real estate career becoming one of the top agents in the area. We talked about kids, but agreed to wait until we hit certain financial goals. We were partners in every sense, building something together. But somewhere around year 5, things shifted. Not dramatically, just shifted. Keith's business exploded. He went from small renovations to building custom million-dollar homes. My career plateaued. The market was tough, competition fierce, and younger agents with social media savvy were eating into my client base. While Keith was hiring employees and buying new equipment, I was struggling to make the same income as the year before. Maybe it's time to try something else, Keith suggested one night. You don't have to be a real estate agent forever. Like what? Be a housewife? Pop out some babies? I didn't say that. I just meant maybe explore other options. You're brilliant, Vanessa. You could do anything. But I heard criticism where he meant support. Heard you're failing where he meant you have choices. Started resenting his success even as I benefited from it. Brett had always been around, but I started noticing him more that year. He was everything Keith wasn't. Reckless where Keith was responsible. Fun where Keith was focused. Brett was the guy who showed up to barbecues with expensive whiskey and stories about his latest conquest. The perpetual bachelor who made marriage look boring by comparison. "Your husband's turned into an old man," Brett joked one night when Keith left a party early to prep for a morning meeting. "Remember when he used to close down bars with me?" "He has responsibilities now," I said. "So do you, but you're still here." "I don't have a crew showing up at 6 a.m. "No, you just have to look good and sell houses." He winked to show he was kidding, but it stung. Everyone seemed to think my job was so easy compared to Keith's. The flirtation started slowly. Brett would compliment my dress when Keith didn't notice. Text me funny memes during the day when Keith was too busy to respond. Show up at open houses with coffee. "Just checking if you need anything." "Your friend Brett stopped by again," I told Keith one night. "Yeah? What did he want?" "Just being friendly, I guess." Keith laughed. "Brett doesn't do just friendly with women. Be careful." "Careful of what?" "He's your best friend." "Exactly. Which is why I know him. Brett's got a code about wives and girlfriends. He looks but doesn't touch. But he definitely looks." I should have heard the warning. Instead, I heard opportunity. Keith trusted Brett, trusted me, which meant I could enjoy the attention without consequences. The night everything changed was a Friday in September. Keith was in Miami for a project, staying overnight to meet with investors. Brett texted asking if I wanted to grab drinks, since we're both alone tonight. I knew I shouldn't go. Knew it the entire time I was getting ready, choosing a dress Keith had bought me, putting on perfume he loved. But I was angry at Keith for being gone again, for building his empire while my career crumbled, for not noticing that I needed more than success by proxy. Brett took me to a new rooftop bar in West Palm. Expensive cocktails, beautiful view, the kind of place Keith would say was overpriced. Brett ordered bottle service without blinking. "This is how you deserve to be treated," he said, pouring champagne. "Like a queen." "Keith treats me well." "Keith treats you like a business partner. When's the last time he took you somewhere like this?" "We're saving, building our future." "What's the point of a future if you don't enjoy the present?" 4 drinks in, I was venting about everything. Keith's absence, my failing career, the way everyone saw me as Keith's wife instead of my own person. Brett listened, nodded, poured more champagne. "You know what your problem is?" he said. "You're trying to compete with Keith instead of being your own person. You're measuring yourself against someone who's in a completely different race." "Easy for you to say." "You don't have to live in anyone's shadow." "No, but I watch my best friend's incredible wife dim her own light because she thinks there's only room for one success story in a marriage." "I'm not incredible." "You are." He leaned closer. "Keith's an idiot if he doesn't see it." "Don't talk about him like that." "Why?" "He's my best friend. I love him, but facts are facts. He's got a beautiful, ambitious, passionate woman at home, and he's in Miami talking to investors." The kiss happened in the elevator. I could blame the champagne, the loneliness, the months of feeling invisible. But the truth is, I kissed him back. Followed him to his apartment. Made every wrong choice with my eyes wide open. The guilt hit before Brett even finished. I was still in his bed, still catching my breath, when the full weight of what I'd done crashed over me. "I need to go," I said, scrambling for my clothes. "Vanessa, relax. Keith's in Miami." "That's not the point." Oh God, what did I do? "We did what we've both been thinking about for months." No, this was a mistake. This never happened." Brett laughed. "It definitely happened, and from the sounds you were making—" "Stop. Just stop." I was dressed now, looking for my purse. "This was a mistake." We're both drunk. It meant nothing. Did it? I left without answering. Drove home at 20 miles an hour, terrified of getting pulled over, of having to explain why I was drunk and crying and reeking of another man's cologne. In my driveway, I saw Keith's truck and panicked before remembering he'd taken his partner's car to Miami. I showered until the water ran cold, threw my dress in the trash. climbed into our bed, and stared at the ceiling, replaying every moment, every choice that led me there. When Keith called to say goodnight, I almost confessed right then. "Hey baby, just wanted to hear your voice before I crashed," he said. "How was the meeting?" "Great. I think we got the funding. If this goes through, we'll be set. How was your night?" "Quiet. Watched Netflix. Missed you." "Missed you too. I'll be home by noon tomorrow. Want to do something special? Celebrate?" "Sure. Yeah, that sounds good." "I love you, Vanessa." "Love you too." I hung up and vomited. Actually ran to the bathroom and threw up until nothing was left but bile and self-hatred. This is how it ends, I thought. One stupid night and I've ruined everything. But Keith came home the next day glowing with success, and I pushed down the guilt. He'd gotten the investment, was planning to expand, wanted to take me to dinner to celebrate. I smiled and congratulated him and pretended I wasn't dying inside. "Brett called," he said while we were getting ready. "Wanted to know if we were free tonight." I told him we had plans. "Good," I said too quickly. "I mean, this should be just us, to celebrate." Keith kissed me. That's what I thought too. For a week, I almost believed I could move past it. Brett texted once, "We should talk," and I deleted it without responding. I threw myself into work, into my marriage, into being the perfect wife. I initiated sex every night, cooked Keith's favorite meals, supported his business like it was my own. But guilt is like water. It finds every crack, seeps into everything. I couldn't look Keith in the eye, couldn't let him touch me without thinking about Brett, couldn't hear Brett's name without flinching. "You okay?" Keith asked one night. "You've seemed off lately." "Just stressed about work." "Want to talk about it?" "No, it's fine. I'm fine." But I wasn't fine, and Brett wasn't done. He showed up at an open house 2 weeks later. Just walked in like a potential buyer, casual as could be. "Nice place," he said, looking around the empty living room. "Good bones." "You need to leave. We need to talk about what happened." Nothing happened. "Vanessa, nothing happened. Get out." "I can't stop thinking about you. I'm married to your best friend." "I know. Believe me, I know. But that doesn't change how I feel, how you felt that night." "I felt drunk and stupid." "That's all." "Liar." He was right. I was lying. Because the awful truth was I had felt something. Not love, not even real attraction, but power. The power of being desired, of being chosen, of doing something just for me. It was selfish and destructive and intoxicating. "It can't happen again," I said. "But you want it to." "No." "Then why haven't you told Keith?" I didn't have an answer, because the answer was that I liked having a secret, liked having something that was mine alone, even if it was poison. Brett left that day, but the texts started. Nothing explicit at first, just "thinking of you," or "hope you're having a good day." I didn't respond, but I didn't block him either. Each text was a tiny thrill, a little hit of that power I'd felt. Keith noticed me pulling away, started asking more questions, paying more attention. The man who'd been too busy building his empire was suddenly home every night, planning date nights, bringing me flowers. "I feel like I've been neglecting you," he said one night. "I'm sorry. The business has been consuming me, but you're more important than any of it." I should have confessed then, should have given him the truth and the choice of what to do with it. Instead, I cried and let him comfort me and hated myself a little more. The second time with Brett happened 6 weeks after the first. Keith was working late. Actually working, I'd driven by the site to check. I was home alone, 3 glasses of wine in, when Brett texted, "I'm outside." I could have not answered the door. Could have called Keith. Could have done 1,000 things other than what I did. But I opened the door. "You can't be here." But I am. Brett, please. Tell me you don't feel anything and I'll leave. Look me in the eye and tell me that night meant nothing. I couldn't, because lies of omission were one thing, but I couldn't lie to his face. And in that moment, with wine warming my blood and months of resentment clouding my judgment, I didn't want to. This time was in my house. In the guest room, not our bedroom, as if that small boundary somehow made it less of a betrayal. This time I couldn't blame surprise or champagne. This time was a choice, clear and deliberate. This has to stop, I said after. Does it? Keith's never here. He's married to his business. You're lonely. I'm here. Do the math. The math? The math is I'm betraying my husband with his best friend. In his house. You mean your house too, right? Or is everything his? That stung because it felt true. The house was in both our names, but Keith paid the mortgage. My commission barely covered my car payment these days. Get out, I said. I'm going. But Vanessa, you can pretend this is just sex, but we both know it's more. You're not happy, haven't been for a while. Maybe it's time to admit that. After he left, I changed the sheets, took another shower, sprayed air freshener until the guest room smelled like synthetic flowers instead of sex. When Keith came home, I was in bed, pretending to sleep. He crawled in beside me, pulled me close. Sorry I'm so late. This project is killing me. It's okay, I whispered. I love you, he said, already drifting off. I love you too. And I did. That was the worst part. I loved Keith even as I was betraying him. Loved our life even as I was destroying it. Loved him, but wasn't in love with the life we'd built, where I'd become a supporting character in his success story. The affair continued for a month. Stolen moments when Keith was at work. Texts deleted as soon as they were read. Lies upon lies upon lies. I became an expert at deception, at living a double life. Brett wanted more, started pushing for me to leave Keith. We could be good together, he said one afternoon. Real partners. We're nothing, I said. This is nothing. Keep telling yourself that. What do you even want from me, Brett? To destroy your best friend? To blow up my life for what? Your ego. I want you to be honest about what you want. You're miserable with Keith. I'm not miserable. You're here, aren't you? In the middle of the day with me instead of him, the truth was uglier than misery. I was bored. Bored with being the supportive wife, bored with Keith's predictability, bored with our routine. Brett was excitement, danger, a reminder that I was still desirable, still capable of bad decisions. This ends now, I said. I mean it. You've said that before. This time I mean it. But I didn't. Because 2 weeks later, when Keith told me he'd be working late again, I texted Brett. Just 3 words. Come over. Please. That last night was different. Desperate. Like we both knew it was ending. We were careless, reckless, didn't hear Keith's truck in the driveway, didn't hear the front door, didn't hear his footsteps until he was standing in the doorway of the guest room. The silence was deafening. Keith just stood there, looking at us. Me scrambling for a sheet, Brett frozen like a deer in headlights. Nobody moved. Nobody breathed. Then Keith turned and walked away. Keith! I ran after him, sheet wrapped around me. Keith, wait, please! He was in our bedroom, pulling a suitcase from the closet. His movements were calm, methodical, terrifying. Please, let me explain. Explain? He finally looked at me. Explain what? How you're fucking my best friend in our house, in our guest room? What explanation could possibly matter? It's not what it looks like. It's exactly what it looks like. His voice was dangerously calm. He was packing now, throwing clothes in the suitcase. How long? Keith dash. How long? 2 months, I whispered. He laughed, actually laughed. 2 months. 2 months of looking me in the eye. 2 months of saying you love me. 2 months of... He stopped, shook his head. Get out of my way. Please, can we talk about this? Talk? You want to talk now? Where was talking when you were lonely? Where was talking when you decided to spread your legs for Brett? Don't be cruel. Cruel! He spun around. I'm being cruel? You're fucking my best friend and I'm cruel for being upset about it? Brett appeared in the doorway, dressed now. Keith, man, I'm sorry. Get out of my house. Let me explain. Get out of my house! Brett left, scurried away like the coward he was, left me there in a sheet, watching my husband pack his life into a suitcase. Keith, please. It didn't mean anything. I love you. You love me? He zipped the suitcase. Is that what you tell yourself when you're with him? That you love me? I made a mistake. No, a mistake is forgetting to pay a bill. A mistake is backing into a mailbox. This is a choice. A series of choices. Every text, every lie, every time you let him touch you. All choices. Where are you going? Away from you. This is your house, too. Keep it. I can't look at it anymore. He grabbed his keys, his wallet, his phone. My lawyer will contact you. Your lawyer? Keith, please, we can work through this. No. He stopped at the door. We can't. You know why? Because I'll never be able to look at you without seeing him on top of you. Never be able to kiss you without wondering if you're thinking of him. Never be able to trust a single word you say. I'll do counseling. I'll do anything, please. Anything? How about not fucking my best friend? Could you have done that? And then he was gone. Just gone. 7 years of marriage, 10 years together, walked out the door with one suitcase. I called him obsessively. Texted, apologies, explanations, pleas. He never responded. Changed his number after 3 days. His lawyer sent papers within a week. Quick and clean, just like Keith. He wanted nothing from the house, no alimony, no fight. Just wanted out. Brett tried to contact me, but I blocked him immediately. What was the point? He'd gotten what he wanted, to prove he could have me. The conquest was complete. The damage was done. My family was horrified. My friends chose sides, and most chose Keith's. Can't blame them. He was the wronged party, the faithful husband who'd done nothing but work hard and love his wife. I was the cliché, the bored housewife who threw it all away for some excitement. How could you? My mother asked. Keith was perfect. Nobody's perfect, Mom. He was perfect for you. Successful, loyal, handsome. What more did you want? I couldn't explain that sometimes having everything still feels like not enough. That success by association isn't the same as personal achievement. That being loved isn't always the same as being seen. The house felt like a mausoleum. Every room held memories. The kitchen where Keith would dance with me while dinner cooked. The living room where we'd planned our future. The bedroom where we'd made love thousands of times. And the guest room. I kept that door closed. I threw myself into work, trying to salvage my career along with my dignity. But real estate is a relationship business, and everyone knew what I'd done. Clients didn't want to work with a homewrecker. Other agents whispered at showings. My reputation was trash, and in a town like Lake Worth, reputation is everything. 6 weeks after Keith left, I missed my period. Stress, I told myself, the trauma of losing everything. But then the nausea started. The exhaustion, the tender breasts. I knew before I took the test. The timeline was damning. The last time with Brett was the night Keith caught us. We hadn't used protection, a final stupid act of carelessness in an evening full of them. And now this. I called Brett from a blocked number. Vanessa? Jesus, I've been worried. I'm pregnant. Silence. Did you hear me? I'm pregnant. It's yours. How do you know it's mine? Because Keith and we hadn't been together in weeks before he left. I know my body, Brett. The timing is perfect. The word perfect tasted like acid. This isn't my problem. What? You made your choices. Deal with them. Brett, this is your child. Maybe. Maybe not. Either way, I'm not interested. I'm not the settling down type. You knew that. You said we could be good together. That was pillow talk. Come on, Vanessa. You're smarter than this. You wanted excitement. I gave it to you. That's all this was. He hung up. When I called back, the number was disconnected. So here I sit, in this empty house I can't afford, pregnant with the child of a man who used me for sport, having lost the husband who actually loved me. The irony is perfect. I wanted to be seen as more than Keith's wife. Now I'm nobody's wife, nobody's anything. I've called Keith's office, but they won't put me through. Drove by job sites, but his workers turn me away. His lawyer won't give me his new number. He's erased me as efficiently as he builds houses. Completely, thoroughly, with no room for error. The latest voicemail I left was pathetic even by my standards. Keith, please. I know I don't deserve anything from you, but I need you to know I'm pregnant. It's Brett's. I know how that sounds, but I need help. I need you. I love you. I've always loved you. Please, just call me back. He won't call. I know he won't. Keith doesn't do second chances, doesn't rebuild on faulty foundations. He'll hear about the pregnancy and feel vindicated in leaving, dodged a bullet, got out before raising another man's child. My phone buzzes. For a moment, my heart leaps. But it's just the mortgage company. Payment overdue. Again. I place my hand on my still flat stomach. In there is the consequence of every bad decision, every selfish choice, every lie. Brett's baby. The final insult to Keith's memory. I used to drive past construction sites and feel proud seeing Keith's company sign. Built by Garrison Construction, building dreams. Now I see the irony. He built dreams while I demolished them. He created while I destroyed. The house is so quiet. Just me and my regrets and this cluster of cells that will become a permanent reminder of the night I lost everything. I keep replaying that moment. Keith in the doorway, the look on his face, the way the light went out of his eyes. In all my fantasies about Brett, I never imagined that moment, never imagined the actual destruction, just the thrill of the secret. There's a Spanish phrase I learned in high school. No hay mal que por bien no venga. There's no bad from which good doesn't come. But sometimes bad is just bad. Sometimes you break things that can't be fixed. Sometimes you betray someone so completely that forgiveness isn't even a possibility. I'll have this baby. Raise it alone. Tell it some sanitized version of the truth when it's old enough. Your father was mommy's mistake. Your existence cost me everything. But I'll love you anyway because what else is there to do? Keith will move on. Probably already has. Some woman will appreciate what I took for granted. She'll support his dreams without resenting his success. She'll be satisfied with his steady love without needing the drama of an affair. She'll be grateful where I was bitter. The pregnancy test still sits on the counter. 2 pink lines. Positive. The only positive thing in my life, and it's the final proof of my betrayal. I had a husband who loved me, a friend who used me, and a choice between them. I chose wrong. Chose the excitement over the security. Chose the thrill over the truth. Chose the man who made me feel special over the one who made me feel safe. Now I have nothing but the consequences. A baby I'll raise alone. A house I'll lose. A reputation I'll never rebuild. And the knowledge that I had everything and threw it away for a man who won't even take my calls. Keith was right. These weren't mistakes. They were choices. Every single one. And now I have to live with them, grow with them, birth them into the world. I loved my husband. Still do. Will always love the man who built dreams while I built disasters. But love isn't enough when trust is gone. Love isn't enough when you've proven yourself unworthy of it. So I sit here in Lake Worth in the beautiful shell of a house my husband renovated with his own hands, carrying his best friend's baby, and leaving voicemails he'll never return. I'm begging for forgiveness I don't deserve, swearing a love I systematically violated. The sun sets over the lake, painting the sky in shades of regret. Somewhere in this city, Keith is building new dreams with someone who deserves them. And I'm here, alone with the ruins of the old ones, finally understanding that some things, once broken, can never be rebuilt. No matter how much you love them, no matter how much you beg.